Hi friends, I'm here with another yoga offering. As always, please do what feels right for you. You're welcome to skip anything, change anything, move at your pace. You're taking good care of yourself. Let's begin on our backs. You can come into a symmetrical, relaxed position. Go ahead and spread out. Either close your eyes or take a soft gaze. Allowing the weight of your body to release back into the support behind you. And come into a nice slow rhythm with your breath, taking the time to inhale until you're full, and exhale until you're empty. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed or open them as it's useful for you. And we'll begin by sliding arms overhead. Stretching out really long through arms and legs, fingers and toes. Interlace your fingers, press out through your palms and flex your feet. Reaching through the heels of your hands, the heels of your feet. And then release. Bring your right knee in. Grab hold of it, hug it in close, maybe a little jiggle. Straighten the right leg up. Flex and point your foot a few times. Circle your ankle a few times. Bend your knee in, open your knee out to the right, and then straighten part way or all the way out to the side, grounding down through the back of the left leg. And then release. And switch. Bring your left knee in, drop the right leg long. Hug the left knee in close as you can. Straighten the left leg up, flex and point. Circle. A couple times both directions. Bend your knee in, open your knee out to the left, and then straighten whatever amount you're able. And then release, bend your knee, bring it back in, and then stretch both arms and legs along and roll onto one side. We'll point the toes, extend the bottom arm, and you can use the top hand just on the floor for a little stability. Try and bring your whole body into a straight line. And we're going to lift just the legs off the floor, squeezing the legs together and sending them out and long. This is working core strength, the inner line. And then release legs down. Now reach the legs and the bottom arm up. So that top hand can be there to help stabilize you. Reach out through the fingers, out through the toes, out through the head. Strong core. And then release down. Now bring both arms overhead. And we'll reach out and up through both arms and legs. Flounder pose. Going as long as you can. Strong core. Each little flop is strengthening. And then release. Bend the bottom arm, bring your hand to your head and flex your feet. And that flex will help stabilize you as you bring the top leg up like tree, as high as you can on your inner leg. And see if you can balance without the use of your top hand now. If you need it, you can always bring it back, but see if you can open up the top knee, bring the hips in, everything moving in towards the midline. And then reach your hand on the inside for the big toe. You can keep your leg bent or straighten it part way or all the way. Still trying to keep everything into the midline. To release, bring your hand back to the floor, then we're going to lower the top leg until it's about 6 inches off the floor. Kick out through your heel, reach up through your toes. Try to keep the top hip down so you're not crunching the hip up, but staying long on all 4 sides of the torso. Last breath here. Release the foot to the floor. Hand that was on your head reaches for your foot. You might need to bend your knee in order to reach, or you could use a strap, or you could hold your calf. And then roll that top arm open, deep twist, dropping down through the top hip. If you want to add a quad stretch, your free hand can reach for your free foot. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Slow, deep breaths. Release, roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in. Take a circle or rock. And then extend long and roll to the other side. So first variation, toes pointed, bottom arm extended, top hand on the floor. Squeeze the legs together and up. Strong core, but relaxed face. Release down. Now legs and bottom arm. Release down. Now top arm overhead, reach out. Both arms and legs, flounder pose. And release. Bend the bottom arm, flex your feet. See if you can find balance without the top hand. Bring the top leg like tree, as high as you can on the inner leg. Bringing everything into the midline. This is a balancing pose. Even though there's a lot touching the floor, you are working all those core stabilizing muscles to stay in balance. You can bring your hand to the inside for the big toe, extending part way or all the way straight. It's finding your edge, exploring your edge. Doesn't need to look any particular way. And then release, hand to the floor. Lower your leg until it's about 6 inches off the floor. Kick through the heel, reach through the toes. Breathing deep. Release, hand to the foot to the floor. Hand that was on your head reaches for the foot or calf or a strap. And then roll open through that top shoulder, dropping down through the top hip. Deep twist. If you did so on the other side, you might add that quad stretch. Roll back onto your back. Bring your knees in. Take a little circle or rock. And then roll your way up, make your way up. And let's come to a forearm plank. You can measure off your forearms, just shoulder width apart, step the feet back. Feel the strength of your core supporting you, the whole underside lifting. Try and bring the hips in line with the head and the shoulders and the heels. Back of the neck long, so the head isn't sagging, it's reaching out. Come to one side, lift the other arm. Feet can be one in front of the other, or one stacked on top of the other. Switch. And let's come to child's pose. Releasing hips to the heels, finding a rest. With arms out in front of you, walk your hands over to the left, and then pull back through your right hip, stretching right side a little more. Come through center and over to the other side. Pull back through your left hip, stretching left side a bit more. Come back to center. Let's lift up through table and come into down dog. You might pedal out your feet a little bit, waking up the backs of the legs, feeling around inside this familiar shape, noticing what's new. Let's walk hands and feet towards one another and hang in ragdoll. Letting the upper body release. Bend your knees a little more, slowly roll up. Feeling your balance on 2 feet here, coming to your full height. And then we'll take a one-legged balanced tree pose. We'll bring the right leg up as high as you can, as low as you need. Arms can be out to the side. You could bring hands together. You could bring arms up. And if you start to lose it, you can always come back out to the side. Standing as tall as you can. Release. Find stability on 2 feet. Take a moment. And then slowly shift to the other side. Tree pose, customizing it for your needs now. And then how much can you feel? Can you tune into subtlety a little bit more here? Let's release. Shake that out. We'll take a quad stretch balance next. Bring the right leg back. Left arm can be out or 2 hands at your foot. Tailbone dropping, pubic bone lifting. Standing tall. Let's release, shake that out. Same thing, other side. Left leg comes back, tailbone dropping, pubic bone lifting. Release, shake that out. So let's take a hip stretch balance, Galavasana. If you want, you can put a block in front of you. This could be helpful for balance. And there'll be advanced options and there'll be less advanced options. So you stop where it feels right for you. So we're going to start by crossing the right ankle above the left knee. And then just sink the hips low. So if you want, the block is there. If you have a wall or want to use a chair, that's available. Sinking the hips, looking for a stretch on the right outer hip, going towards a flat back. Now, if you want to go lower, you can bring your hands to a block. You might bring your hands to the floor. Sinking hips low, so big hip stretch. For more of a balance, try not using the hands. Now, if any of you want to try the full pose Galavasana, you can go towards an arm balance. Hands flat, knee and ankle to the upper arms, and then it's just a matter of shifting weight forward, maybe lifting that back foot off the floor. Full expression is extending, back leg straight, breathing wherever you are. If you were in your hands, you can shift back to your foot. Let's rise up, release, shake it out, maybe take a few hip circles. So just because there is an advanced option available doesn't mean it's better to do it. So we're each stopping at our own point. Let's try the other side. Left ankle above the right knee, hips sink low. Look for a stretch on the left hip. This is a great place to just breathe here. Using support if support is useful. Maybe going lower. Maybe trying not to use support. You could play hot potato. Even if you can't get that back foot off the floor, if you want to, you can play around with more weight in the hands. Less weight in the feet. Maybe back leg comes up, maybe extending it out. If you are in your hands, come back to your foot. Release, shake it out. A couple hip circles. Okay,
Let's take another one. So a twisting variation. So again, you stop when you stop. So right foot comes to the left knee, hips sink low. Basic variation, back of the right hand to the inside of the right foot, and just start to open up into a twist. And again, use a chair if you want, or a wall. If you can, shimmy your hand further down. Maybe you reach for a block for a little stability. If you can, could get your elbow all the way over. Try for a deep balance, maybe even a prayer twist. And then the arm variation, the arm balance variation. Both hands would come to the floor, shifting weight into the hands, out of that bottom foot, maybe extending it. Wherever you are, that's where there is to breathe and be. Let's release. Let that go. The thing I love about that pose is lots of bang for your buck. It's like every pose in one. Balance, twist, arm balance, hip stretch. So let's try the other side. You stop it when you stop. Left ankle above the right knee, back of the left hand to the inside of the foot. This is a great place to be. Breathing here. Maybe you get just a little further down. Maybe the elbow or the upper arm to the outside. If you did attempt the arm balance on the other side, you might try it again. Release, let that go. Let's bring feet hip width apart, hands to the top of the buttocks, little upper back arch. Deep fold. Grab your big toes if you can. Release, Malasana. If your heels don't easily come to the floor, you're welcome to widen your stance or turn out your toes. You can also sit on a block or two. You could slide a blanket under your heels. And then open your knees. Shoulders roll back and down. We'll work our root lock here, Mula Bandha. Same as a Kegel exercise. As you exhale, draw the pelvic floor muscles in and up. As you inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. And then engage and keep breathing. Keep holding, drawing in strongly through the bottom. Connecting that up to the top. And then release. Come back to a forward fold. Any arm position. You could hang in ragdoll. You could interlace fingers behind your back. You could give your hair a pull, lengthening your head. Release arms down. Let's try crow. If you don't want to try crow, don't. And trying crow can be a great experience, even or maybe even especially if your toes don't come off the floor. Can I breathe here? Can I let this be as it is? Shifting weight forward, more weight in the hands, less weight in the feet. If the feet become weightless, you might lift them up. Let's make our way back to down dog. If any of you want to try and hop out of this, you're welcome. You could also just step back or take a vinyasa on your way back, feeling whatever you are doing. Come all the way to sitting. Extending legs forward. Let's bring the right leg up, holding the lower leg and cradle it. As you do this, notice if your back is rounding, see if you can sit a little taller. And then bring the right foot to the top of the left thigh, half lotus. If that's not a good idea for your body, bring it to right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh for Janu Sirsasana. If you'd like to try for a bind, you can reach your right hand around for the inner elbow or maybe all the way to the big toe. And then fold over that straight left leg, using your hands to support you wherever it works for you. It could be on the floor, on your feet, on a strap. Inhale to look up. Exhale, release. Keep the top leg where it is. We're going to bend the bottom leg so it's in a big open diamond. Lengthen and then fold whatever amount. So it could be just slightly leaning forward, or if you did come all the way down, your head might come to your foot. You could also lean into a block or use whatever support works for you. And then bring the upper body back up. We'll keep the top leg where it is, lean back, and then reach that bottom leg, your left foot, towards your nose if you're trying to touch your toe to your nose. See if we can get that leg into full lotus. So you could try. If full lotus is a pose that you can do, you can use your hand to get there. Don't force anything. So now we'll either be in half lotus, full lotus, or crossed ankles. We're going to try and lift the hips. So hands are going to come by the floor, and we're going to push into the floor as we lift legs to the chest, and maybe there'll be some space between our hips and the floor, maybe there won't. Either way, we're going to be engaging core muscles. So lifting up, 5 deep breaths. Okay, let's get ready for the other side. You can either just unwind legs in a little ankle circle or try for lotus vinyasa. Lifting up, placing hands, elbows down by the pubic bone to lift the legs, thwop them out, and then take any movement to integrate what you've just done. Maybe a vinyasa, maybe something else. And come through to sitting when you're ready. Same thing other side. Left lower leg up, cradle it, we'll rock. Sitting tall as you can. And then place the foot up on the right thigh for half lotus, or sole of the foot on the inner thigh for Janu Sirsasana. Maybe trying for a bind, elbow or foot or a strap. And then folding being a direction. The direction is length and then fold. So you just might be upright at your edge, feeling that. You go to your edge. Inhale to look up. Exhale, release. Bend the bottom leg just a little, nice and open. Folding, again, a direction, nowhere to get except where you get. Meeting your limits right where they are. If lotus is a pose you are working towards, this is a good lotus opening sequence. Lotus is not a good idea for all bodies. Not every knee wants to bend this way. If it's not for you, don't do it. If you did fold, come back up and now reach right toe to your nose, left knee away. You might try and swap your way into a lotus. If you might be able to get there using your hands, you can try. And then come to sitting, whatever you ended up with. So we're going to lift up again, this time 25 rapid inhales and exhales through the nose. Actually goes faster than the 5 slow ones. So lifting is a direction, there's nowhere to get. Unwind and give yourself a little ankle rub, or maybe lotus vinyasa. Feeling what you are doing. Let's come onto our backs. Bring your knees in, take a little circle or rock, and then drop your feet to the floor, getting set up for a few back bends, starting with bridge. Feet hip width apart, parallel. Press your feet down, lift your hips high. Once your hips are high enough, interlace your fingers behind your back, shrugging your shoulders under you. When the pose feels complete, come down and rest. Feeling the release after the effort. Let's take a few more back bends. You can decide how many, which ones, and how long you stay in each one. So if you feel like coming up again, you can take bridge, what we just did, or half wheel or full wheel, or any arm or leg variation you know or want to try. Letting go. If you have more back bends, then you keep going. If you're done, move on to a counter stretch, happy baby or a forward fold or a twist. I'm going to wrap up this practice, so if you'd like to finish up with me, take a moment asking yourself, what do I need? What do I want? Could be a restorative pose, could be an inversion, could be a body part that needs a little something. When nothing else is needed, you can spread out in your final resting pose. Feel free to add any support or adjust your clothing or grab any props. Eventually settling into stillness. Letting go. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your wrists and ankles and take a big stretch out through your arms and legs. When you're ready, bring your knees in. And roll to one side. Use your hands to help you up to sitting. And bring hands together at the heart. And just take a moment to bring some gratitude in. For this practice, for this body, for this life. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was fun. I haven't done some of those poses in a while. Feel free to send in requests. I love being inspired if there's something you'd like me to work into one of these practices. And thank you for your support in whatever ways you are able to do that. Your financial contributions really matter to me. This is my job, and this is how I pay my bills. So thank you for contributing big and small amounts.